number 2. Carolina Panthers, a solid 2-15 in 2023. Good for dead freaking last in the NFC South. They fired Frank Reich. They hired Dave Canales. He was the Bucs offensive coordinator. They have a very low number, AB, at just 3 nickels, juiced to the over. Where do you go with the Panthers?
Here's the issue with the Panthers, because you see Bryce Young pictured there. I like Bryce Young. I liked him at Alabama. I like him now. Here's the problem. Name anyone else that plays for the Panthers, right? Like, they just don't have any talent. You want to know who their starting tight end is? Tommy Tremble. All right. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do. All right. I'm taking the under 5.5, but it's not a negative on them. I like Dave Canales, right? Like, I just don't know what they're going to use to compete. Look at the roster. It is devoid of major talent.
I'm picking them to go 5-12 at best. It's not a negative. It's not a negative on them. At best, 5-12. Oh my goodness. Oh, another long year in Carolina. Sometimes when it starts the owner down, and we know their owner is a disaster, Raphael. He is a disaster. He is as petty as they come. But are we going to cash a ticket on AB's under, or where are you headed, Raphael?
I like the Panthers over 5.5. This one total opened up at 4.5 when we all put totals up and quickly got bet up to 5.5. Just don't forget, they have a last place schedule, and I know they only had 2 wins last year, and both wins were by 2 points, so it's not like they crushed those 2 wins, but it's going to be a much improved team, and I think the quarterback play is going to be the big difference. Just because Andy Dalton is his backup, they can easily bring him in if, let's say, an injury comes in and ride the boat. I think they can win their first game in New Orleans. I'm not sold on the Saints at all. So I like them 5.5 wins. I liked it 4.5 way back over the summer, but I'll still take 5.5 just because I think you're right, Coach. I think they have 5 wins, and maybe I can hedge off on the last 2 weeks if I'm floating around 5 wins. But I like this Panthers team. They're improving.
You got to be paying attention when you have a futures like this to be able to hedge around week 17. Week 18. Soupy Charles says, don't count out the Panthers. They made a ton of improvements in the offseason, but we can't name any of them, AB. I think they don't finish last. We should ask Soupy to name like 5 dudes that they brought in that helped improve their team. See how long it takes him to write those in the chat. Charles, let me come over to you while Soupy's scrambling to find Google. Are we going over or under this year on the Panthers?
I'm going to go under on this one. I was scrambling to see where they would get wins as well. I'd see maybe the Cardinals, Giants, Raiders, Bears, Broncos. That Commanders could be their 6th, but I just really couldn't get to where they would get past 5 wins. So, yeah, I like the under. I'm just not a Canales or Bryce Young fan. Also, like I said, and as far as their team, I'm not really sold on that as well. So, yeah, I'll stick with the under 5.5 wins for the Panthers.
Wow, I felt like you just took a direct shot at Raphael. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how that makes me feel. That was a direct shot at Raphael. Damn, Charles.
He probably had 15-2 for the Saints on Friday.
That was a straight shot, too. All right, now
He
let's
started
talk
it.
props. He did start it in,
I did.
in grade school. All right, AB, props, Panthers, go.
Bryce Young under 3,200.5 passing yards. And again, just playing a number here because there are so many ways that this goes under. There are very few that this goes over. I'm just going to play it and ride it because, again, so many ways that this could go under 3,200.5. Yep, that's what we're doing.
So last year on, well, what would be Detail After Dark this year, we played Bryce Young several times. Did we not, AB? And he would routinely pass for 140, 130, 150. I'm not a math major, but this would have to average about 200 yards a game, a little bit under, to cash this over. I like the under a lot. Well done, AB. A lot. Raphael, let me come over to you. What do you like here? Another Bryce Young play.
Yeah, I had to scratch my eyes and refresh my computer not once but twice because I was actually shocked that he didn't throw for more interceptions last year. He only threw for 10 last year, so I was a little bit shocked. And I just like this number because, again, Andy Dalton's going to be putting a lot of pressure on him because if Young struggles like he did last year, I can easily see them giving the hook. Better offensive line. I think better production on tight ends and receivers. So I think he'll be a much better quarterback, either or who's playing. But 10.5, I just don't see it. Again, totally blew my mind that he didn't have more last year.
Me too. Me too. I just hope he doesn't get injured. He's so small compared to everybody else. Charles, you're going back to the team for a futures here. Talk to me.
Most regular season losses plus 650. I could realistically see this team going 2-15, 3-14, and at plus 650, I think it's worth a sprinkle.
So you're going to go fewest regular season wins for the Panthers at plus 650.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Great. I believe you said losses.
Fewest
Okay.
regular season wins.
We're
My
gonna have to figure
apologies.
out
I might have on that.
Let
one,
me
Coach.
clear this up. Let me clear this up. So the
That's
bet
okay.
is the fewest regular season wins.
Yes.
He worded it as the most regular season losses, which is saying kind of the same thing, but with books, it's never the
It's never
That's
the
where
same
that's where
thing.